other staircase, we'll see the little booties have figurines and have facial features and accoutrements that you would recognize as being from North America, like Native Americans, and from Africa. You'll see some of them are sitting next to little alligators. They're wearing headdresses. They're wearing bone necklaces. That's how they divided the world, east and west, and between the two staircases. It's beautiful, beautiful marble rose inlaid floors covered with depictions of the zodiac signs. So you might be standing near your birthday. Which one are you? Huh? Taurus? Uh-oh, you're the bull? I bet that bull is over here. It's over that way somewhere. What's your sign?
I don't know.
You don't know? What's your sign?
Am I thinking, what's it in English?
What's it in English?
It says Sagittarius?
Sagittarius. I've seen yours a few times. Oh, she's a Sagittarius. I think she's over there. I'll also point out that behind us here are these little kind of statuettes. Used to be little water fountains. And these lovely Greco-Roman masks pop up quite a few times. So I'll point a few of them out to you as we go. Lastly, before we leave, I want to point out the bus on the left and the right alcoves here. They are of Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers of the United States and past presidents. We'll talk a little bit about how Thomas Jefferson's influence on this institution is huge. Huge, huge, huge. First, so this is referred to as the invention of writing. There's a couple of wonderful pieces of literature in here.
Yes.
She's in there.
Yes, sir.
I promise you we're going to take a close look at it. Let's look at the friezes on the wall first. They do tell a lovely story. If you start over here, what you'll see is a caveman leaving messages in boulders, followed by African storytelling traditions, followed by Egyptians writing on papyrus, evolving into Native Americans writing on animals, followed by monks and monasteries writing on paper, and a depiction of Gutenberg writing with his newly invented machine. Two wonderful documents in this one, two books in this one. One is the Bible of Mans, and one is the Gutenberg Bible. Let's start over here with the Bible of Mans. Of course, it's a library, so there should be lots of books, but we take for granted the cost of making a book. It's pretty low, it's pretty inexpensive these days, but it wasn't always that way. What we're going to take a look at here is a handwritten copy of the Bible. It's from the 1430s, and of itself, I love maps, and the library, in addition to collecting books and recordings, collects a lot of maps. Let's take a look at this map down here. This one is particularly interesting because it depicts the United States. It depicts the United States for the first time by an American. Prior to that, photography, of course, an incredibly skilled, learned profession, and in that way would be very limited to a certain number of people, especially our colonizers. So an American being allowed to map the country would have been considered revolutionary, and that's what this map shows. The United States done by an American. What's funny, of course, especially you guys there in North Carolina, you can see over here, look how big North Carolina is. Yeah, it runs all the way to the Mississippi River. All of the 13 colonies do. Connecticut, huge. Virginia, super duper huge. And Florida's not even there. It's just a collection of Native American tribes. And to the left of the Mississippi River, where I'm from, it just doesn't exist yet. I will notice, however, on this map that Canada is actually very well rendered. And you'll notice that the Canadian provinces, as they exist today, are pretty well established on this map. I guess Canada's always got it going on. What's interesting again about this map is that it was done by an actual American while we were still under the auspices of the British. So, very important for that reason. We'll also be taking a look at another map in just a few minutes, which is even more revealing. Let's go this way. Part of our efforts to make ourselves feel a part of our European allies' friend zone was to show how wealthy we were. Most of the marble in most of DC's buildings are poured from inside the United States. But the marble for this building actually comes mostly from Algeria. There's also a lot of gold and silver in this building. We were really trying to put our wealth on display. Of course, we don't put much gold in here now, but that didn't stop us from doing it then. You'll also notice this young lady here, this figurine, that is Minerva, her doppelganger. I think we are familiar with Athena. She is the goddess of learning and of war. So we normally see in her hands either a globe or a light to symbolize learning, and she has her hand on the hilt of her sword. She's more or less the library's mascot. We'll see her all over, including right here. And let's take a look at the Grand Hall.
Say something now. Who's that? Say something now.
Yo, this is dedicated to you whack MCs
who are uneducated and you lack degrees.
Cause when you rap for G's and react for fees,
we attack and seize and cause catastrophe.
Yes, it be Agent Tesseract, the best to rap, ahead in the whack with unforgettable tracks. MCs to me are edible stacks. I create hype lyrics that are sharp and deflate and spike spirits that are dark. Great white sharks fight my lyrics then depart back in the ocean of the masses just to sink quick. I'll have your head bobbing so much you swear you're sucking lip dicks. You numbskulls and dimwits, I dumb and dumb you don't.
And there are lots of events all over the world, and so we're taking part in that with these two shorts. But they also the two shorts make a very interesting observation about the vagaries and the flukes in film preservation, because they owe their very existence to the discovery of about 200 pre-World War I nitrate prints. They were buried in a swimming pool for many decades in the Yukon. It's possible that some of you might remember this. It was in the late 70s. But the permafrost in the Yukon essentially guaranteed the survival of these films. The Library of Congress was given many of them, and so the two shorts are from the library's collection. The first of them, Taming of the Shrew, is a filmed version of an actual French theatrical pantomime, La Mégère Apprivoisée, performed by a really first-rate French mime company. And that is followed by a modern Garrick, which is a slapstick comedy and rude and crude in the acrobatic pantomime tradition. Most of a modern Garrick is missing, so you should be forewarned that what we're showing you is essentially a fragment, about a 5-minute fragment. So it will help to know the following. The actor who comes to town to play Romeo was also pretending to be a hypnotist. And according to press accounts at the time, the parts with the hypnotist were really the funniest bits. I don't know if that comes through in the fragment. But when he succeeded as the hypnotist in convincing Gwendolyn, the heroine, to fall out of love with the actor, which is also himself, he believed that he had performed the role of his lifetime. And so the film ends with him declaring himself to be a modern version of the famous 18th century Shakespearean actor, David Garrick. The composer for these two short films is Virginia Guastella, a young woman who is with us today in the audience. She modeled her music on that of the French composer André Wormser for the 1890 theatrical pantomime The Prodigal Son, with the addition of also having musicalized the nitrate disintegration in the film. So it's really quite beautiful. What follows the two shorts is D.W. Griffith's Broken Blossoms, a 35mm print from the Museum of Modern Art.
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
And will, to the best of your ability,
and will,
preserve,
protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
so help you God.
So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? I am Sentinel Johnson of the 3rd Infantry Regiment, United States Army. Guard of Honor, 2 of the Unknown Soldier. The ceremony that you are about to witness is the changing of the guard. In keeping with the dignity of this ceremony, it is requested that everyone remain silent and standing. Thank you.